I think the most important thing that we discussed so far is that Fantasia isn't necessarily narrative all the way through. And even when it is, it's not one particular narrative. Like you said, it's like a musical theater experience.
Yeah.
As such, its characters are kind of everywhere.
Would you care to give us a quick rundown of the main characters that we see in this?
I would love to. But as it stands, like, each individual segment is... What I usually do, as you know, is I'd like to go in and talk about each of the characters. But if I did that, we'd be here for an hour.
Yes.
So what I have done is I've constructed a format, and I'm going to use this going forward because you know me. I go off the deep end, and I want to talk about everything all at once.
Yes.
So much like how I'm keeping my scripts to 2 pages, I am restricting myself to only the top 10 characters.
Cool. Okay.
Super cool. Now, I should say to begin with, I should say that I did not consider any of the dinosaurs in the Rite of Spring segment to be characters. They were just like animals. They acted like animals. And that's not to say that animals don't have like a personality that can make them a character, but like that they didn't have a personality or a real story behind it. It was just like animal behavior of animals. It wasn't The Land Before Time. It was more like a nature documentary.
Yeah, it was a 22-minute science lesson.
Yes. However, it's because they act like animals and not dramatic characters that I really like that segment and had to give them that shout out.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
I love it. It's to me, it's interesting to me because I feel like I can put myself into that time and I get to see like into a window of a time where I could not have lived. It's neat.
Yeah.
But maybe 22 minutes isn't quite as neat as it could be.
No, not at all.
The first character is the orchestra conductor and narrator, because I thought of this unit as one single solitary character. In my opinion, they operate as a face, brain, and body. Mr. Deems Taylor, the perpetual straight man, acts as the face to us, the audience, and he professionally and courteously introduces these segments. Leopold Stokowski, the brains of the outfit, sternly leads the men and women of the Philadelphia Orchestra who are just goofy and wild enough to be the bits and bobs of a body. They tell the stories, and the stories they tell involve, say, fairies. Svelte and graceful, these ballerina babies seem to bring the change in seasons, from spring to fall to winter. They're responsible for the changes in nature such as dewdrops, falling leaves, frost, and even snowflakes. Suspiciously, they seem to be responsible for nothing that happens in the summertime, like Russian dancing flowers or suspiciously racist mushrooms. It's not their fault. Oh boy. The next character I focused on were the fish.
Oh boy.
Shy, demure even, but sultry and flirtatious once you get into their lair, doing the dance of 7 veils and whatnot.
The Dance of 7 Tails?
Aren't you funny?
Aren't you funny?
Aren't you a card?
Mm-hmm. I am,
indeed. It has been 2 movies in a row with sexy fish, and I'm not sure what I'm concerned about. Like, am I concerned about their presence? Am I concerned about the idea that I might be getting into it? Oh. If I see another sexy fish anytime soon, I think I'm going to lose it, is the main focus here.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's such a lot. We see it twice in Pinocchio, and we see it for a whole mini segment here.
Yeah. It's like a constant. I think it's the lips and it's the eyelids, because fish don't have eyelids they don't have eyelids, so
they don't. It
just makes them sultry and sexy.
Yeah, sassy fish. I had this little. This is a hey everybody, mini bonus crackpot theory. In the lore of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I had the idea that one of the fish in this film is the grandmother to Jessica Rabbit because they share eyelids and lips.
Yeah. Well, and we might also see a relative of Jessica Rabbit in the sexy fish from was it Shark Tale or whatever?
Oh God, yeah, the Angelina Jolie fish.
Yeah, she looks like Jessica Rabbit.
That's her sister.
That's her cousin.
She got more of the genes.
Kissing cousins. Okay, so
don't.
Right. Instead of wish fulfillment, is it fish fulfillment?
I hate this so much.
Yes. Okay.
Let me move on.
Just get me a worse quality mic, and you'll be good because you won't be able to hear me anymore.
Yeah, fair. I'll look into Logitech.
Oh, that was a burn that I totally don't even understand because I'm not into mic politics.
They make products for computers that are like it's like third brand knockoff. Anyways.
Oh, are they the ones that have like the red nipple in the center of the keyboard?
I don't think so.
The ThinkPads or whatever.
That's the thing. Yeah, ThinkPads. I don't think so. My aunt has had like 7 of those computers.
Just get a new computer.
Can I talk about the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
You don't want to talk more about sexy fish?
I don't, please.
Fine. You can go on.
I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go out of my mind if I have to hear more about sexy fish.
Okay. You're gonna lose your marbles?
I'm gonna lose. I don't even know if we're keeping that bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish I hope we don't, so that people are just like, what? Marbles? Okay. Anyway, go on. Please tell me about
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Sorcerer. Yes.
I'm not sure how many times I can say the name of Michael the Mouse before Bob Chapek's Law Squad decides to try and joylessly milk me for all my cash as punishment for attempting to enjoy his company's product. So we're just going to call him by character name.
Oh my gosh. We can't even show the H2O molecular structure of H2O.
Yeah, no, we can't show. Yeah, I can't. Like, if you've seen our logo, that's the closest I can get.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the Sorcerer's Apprentice is a highly relatable, gifted kid who can do it all but can't be bothered to do the goddamn work, and suffers for it in the system. Big dreams, big mistakes, and even bigger regrets, the apprentice is a cheeky little delinquent in a too-big-for-kids robe, with magic on his mind and murder in his heart. All right. The soundtrack. So remember how I said there was an orchestra in any capacity? Just throw them out the window. They're here for show. My man Deems shows us that conductor Leo and his Philly crew of bangers are just a front for the soundtrack, which is a living being that makes every sound in the movie that isn't a human voice. Also, at time code 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 6 seconds, when the soundtrack finishes up showing off the sounds that a trumpet makes, it also becomes the colors of the trans pride flag. So, soundtracks to Fantasia says trans rights.
Yeah.
Trans rights. The centaurs and the centaurettes.
I love how ridiculously stupid that is.
You have to say centaurettes.
The centaurettes. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Centaurette, for our listeners, is literally a word that does not exist and was made up as an excuse for Fred Moore to design as many pretty naked ladies as he possibly could. Meanwhile, centaurs were designed to be total himbo chads. We polled 100 bronies, and they had this to say. This is the ideal body. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Also, I will have so much more to say when I discuss production.
Oh, God.
I'm leaving those two till then.
Okay, go on.
So let's just move on to Bacchus. Fred Moore's self-insert so he could be forever immortalized as getting sauced and chasing ladies. Rider of the greatest looking unicorn I've ever seen in my whole entire life. tormented by his father, Zeus, king of all jerkwads, even when he's not philandering, and his own brother, Hephaestus, who's got the face of one of those there's something wrong with characters we've come to recognize. But he's got the body of Disney's Huncules.
I was like an inch away from taking a drink of water. I'm so glad that I didn't.
I'm just saying, when women look at Dopey, they see Hephaestus.
To be fair, we never see under Dopey's Dopey's loose.
Oh my god, yeah! I heard Dopey had an 8-pack. I heard he was shredded.
It's that one tooth. That one tooth that they all share.
And the eyes that aren't quite crossed, but aren't quite not. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. I can't put a name to it. I don't want to put a name to it.
But there's something wrong with Hephaestus, and he's shredded. Oh man, I've got 3 more characters. Okay. I'm almost done, I promise.
Please, God. Please go on.
The hippos. Not so svelte, but just as graceful as the fairies, these sumptuous and Rubenesque benches eat some grapes, do a number of dance numbers to rep the noonday sun, then take a nap, living the life. They, and the dancing ostrich and elephants that come out before and after them, are eventually pursued by, drumroll please, the crocodiles! Yay. I have written daring crocs of mystery, champions of the night. Swoop down from the shadows, crocodiles own the night. Somewhere some dancing animals are just trying to live their life, but their number's up. I'm not sure who's going to get that. That was a Darkwing Duck reference.
Yeah,
because they're all like
completely didn't. I thought that this was just turning into a really different podcast.
You thought I was just You thought I was just trying to make a beat poem?
Yeah. I was here for it. I was in support of you. Please don't do that.
Oh, you don't like my poetry now?
I don't really like poetry in general. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just can't get into it.
So, one last thing. I'm not sure if they're horny or hungry, but if certain corners of the internet and certain Griffin McElroy fans have taught me anything, it can be both.
I literally say the exact same thing. Sans the Griffin reference, but wow. Incredible, amazing. Love it.
Are you ready for the last character in the top 10?
Oh, yes, I am ready.
By the way, this is in no particular order. Actually, it is in a particular order. I put them in order of their appearance.
Okay.
But I did save number 1 for last.
Okay.
Chernabog!
Oh.
Every kielbasa-eating, pierogi-stuffed, Slavic-raised cell in my body is screaming for me to talk about the Chernabog. Top boss, big badass, commander of the forces of darkness, big goth zaddy.
Zitty.
Decided he hates bells for some reason. I literally own like 7 Disney pins with this guy's face on him. I have always loved the Chernabog. He's the best Disney villain ever.
Yeah, he is the best Disney villain ever.
He's the best we've seen so far.
That's true. Oh, like with the podcast, or like?
I'd say the best we've seen so far in the podcast, but also the best I've seen so far in any piece of Disney media. Nothing beats literal Satan.
Well, and like, to be fair too, there's best is really relative and it can mean anything. Like, there's best villain in terms of like they're the most villainous and the most heinous, which I feel like that would go to either what's his face from Hunchback or Mother Gothel from Rapunzel.
Frollo's a nasty boy, and Mother Gothel's a nasty woman. But
and then there's also best our favorite or the coolest design. So there's a lot that you can say with best, but I think he's maybe the most sublime.
Sublime.
Yeah, so the sublime is a thing in Gothic literature where it's kind of the opposite of beautiful, where it's kind of like it's grandiose, it's big, it's very obscure, it's very extreme, and it's like awe-inspiring, but like not in a beautiful way.
It's the antonym to beautiful.
Yeah, but it can also be like striking and like positive without necessarily being like beautiful is seen as more soft and passive and a little bit more feminine and non-threatening. Sublime can also be seen as like we could see it as beautiful, but it's more fearsome. So he's the most like sublime villain. Chernobog is. Like he's the most like awe-inspiring and fear-inspiring in terms of like his size and like the aura around him. I mean, considering he's literal Satan, that's like on brand, but still.
Yeah, like he's described literally by Deems Taylor as Lucifer.
Yeah.
Like it's just Satan.
Yeah, it's Satan. So, yeah.
Hail Satan! No, that's the joke from last time.
Yeah.